What's up, guys? Salty Collector here, and welcome to the channel. So today we're going to go over some stuff going on in the market and talk about some of the booster boxes from Scarlet and Violet that have been running. Talk about some stuff I'm looking about potentially picking up, some singles. So I have some single plays for you guys, and I also have a couple of sealed plays that I'm still eyeing. And then we'll kind of talk about, what we should do from here, where this market's going, and talk about if this is ever going to stop or if everything can only go up. So let's dive into it, guys. And I'm looking forward to having this conversation with y'all. And if you guys like this content, feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and I really appreciate it. All right, let's dive in. So starting out, Ascended Heroes. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I never expected this sort of growth in such a small time frame. Even in the last month, you guys have seen what 22% growth for those of you who picked them up for 100, 120 in ETB. This is wild. I did not expect this level of growth. These ETBs are now more than a prismatic ETB. I'll tell you now, I'm not personally picking up any Ascended Hero ETBs at this price. I think it is kind of insane. But, I could be wrong. Maybe these drive up to 250. Maybe they're never reprinted. I'm not sure. I don't have anything in my collection right now. I have a couple of PC ETBs. That's about it. I know those have run up a bunch. Probably will just hold on to those for the long term. But if you're looking for kind of shorter term plays, I would recommend steering clear of Ascended Heroes. I know everyone doesn't like to hear that, but I think there are better plays out there than Ascended Heroes personally. If you did get into these at 100 to 120, you're sitting pretty. I wouldn't say necessarily you have to, take profit. It really depends on your situation. But I do think there are better plays on the market. Long term, 5 years, Ascended Heroes is a great set. It's a banger. So nothing to say there. Jumping into booster boxes here. I don't know if any of y'all have been paying attention, but Surging Sparks has done a little bit of run. I mean, not a ton, but a little bit. We're up 7%. I know what you're saying. I personally purchased a lot of Surging Sparks, so I really do believe in this set. So I purchased, I think, about 10 to 13 of these total. And you're saying, maybe I'm shilling my product here, whatever you guys want to say. But I do think that this is like the third, if not the second best booster box in the Scarlet and Violet era. And ever since Pokemon has announced that the vending machines are going to be removed over the coming months, and a lot of the Surging Sparks booster boxes have been acquired through the vending machines, I think you're going to see this run very, very, very soon. You can still pick these up locally. 240, 245, some 250. So I'd recommend picking these up soon because I do think they're going to run to 300. Maybe in the next, again, I have no crystal ball, but in the next month to 2 months, I think they will run. And then they do go out of print next year. So keep that in mind. Going into a Mega Evolution box that has run, Phantasmal Flames. This is another one, man, that I did not see coming. Just this market is crazy, dude. You can literally buy almost anything in this market, and you're positive in a month or two. No one gets punished in this market. But you can see here it's had continuous growth over the last 3 months. Even in the last month, we had a little spike here. It jumped up from like 450 or 440 up to like 500. It dipped back down to around 460. I think you have some listings 45, some listings for 45. It's a good set. I have no issues with it. I don't think I'd be purchasing them at 500. Really not sure what Pokemon's going to do with so many of these sets running. I think pretty much all of Scarlet and Violet has been ticking up in April and May. All of Mega Evolutions have been ticking up in April and May. Even the singles, maybe besides Perfect Order, which we'll go talk about in a bit. But I don't know, man. Everything's going up. I would look at other plays other than Phantasmal Flames personally. If you did get into these boxes at 250, you're sitting happy. If you're a long-term investor, just chill out. If you're kind of a flipper, maybe consider flipping some of them. Maybe pull out your risk capital. and then be asset neutral essentially. So no risk for any of the remaining boxes that you have. Sell about half maybe if you've doubled up, and then apply that capital somewhere else. I do like to do that with my current capital constraints. So just something to keep in mind. Destined Rivals. Not much to say about the set. It's in the 600s again. Again, insane for a set that's about a year old. I guess it's maybe a little bit more now, huh? Yeah, probably maybe a little bit more than a year old now. Again, if you bought these at 250, you're sitting well. I may, if there's never a reprint of this, with who knows, if there ever will be a booster box reprint of this or any sort of dip. I may look to acquire just a case at some point before we see the next huge run up on these. But again, I'm not actively looking to acquire these right now in this market. One of the ETBs I do hold, Black Bolt, Elite Trainer Box, actually got really lucky. I got like a Walmart drop when I first started, like over a year ago. So I got, when they had the minimum 12 per order, I did get a bit lucky. I ended up clicking on and able to buy right away before all the bots got them. So I do have a few of these. I did post a few of them as well. I think I posted about half my position because I've made over 100%. I do like to get out of any capital risk with my remaining product. So I have been selling about half of these to get rid of the capital that I spent and any sort of the new products. But you can see these did go on a little bit of a run as well. They're hitting at 140 now, which is just insane. You can see 142, 144. I think these are running because some of the PokeTubers, shout out Nostalgianomics, PokeUni, great content if you guys are interested in market analysis, Pokemon investing. I think they had mentioned some of these were a good buy, and so I think there's a bit of a run on these. I'm not going to show the white flare, but the white flare has been moving as well. Another booster box I actually do own, Journey Together. I know the shit set of the Scarlet and Violet era. It's starting to pick up speed too. I still can't believe this is more expensive than Surging Sparks, but supply and demand. Surging Sparks has been in the vending machines. There's been more supply, but this has been going on a little bit of a run. You can see here, 16% in 3 months, about 6%. Not as much of a sell-through rate as some of the other ones. I think Journey Together is slept on, man. I think this booster box is a good booster box. I think it will do fine in the future. I think it's, honestly a good price. I'm not looking to purchase Journey Together. I would purchase Surging Sparks over Journey Together. But it does have a box topper, and the Reshiram is a pretty cool card. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at these guys, especially Journey Together, for when you're picking up. Again, I would pick up the enhanced version. It does look like this one may be not the enhanced version. Let me double check. Booster box. Let's see. Here's the booster box case. So the enhanced booster box is a little bit cheaper at $278. Still has gone on a little bit of a run here. So same idea. If you like Journey Together, I think you can still pick it up. Again, I'm looking at Surging Sparks over Journey Together. Perfect Order. Everyone's most hated set for Mega Evolution. You can see selling for the 200, 210s. You could probably find these locally, probably a little bit under that, probably under 200. I don't know, man. It could be attractive, and let me tell you why. People don't like the set, obviously. So you may have a little bit of time probably to pick this up, and we have a second wave coming. So if the second wave comes, this could dip. This could be the first booster box to dip to MSRP. I know everyone wants an MSRP. Maybe. I don't think so, but it could. It could. And I don't know, that could be a good buy. Of all the sets that they're going to have to print, Destined Rival. Now apparently black and white. They're going to have to print Ascendant. More Prismatic maybe even. I don't know. Maybe Prismatic's coming to the end of its reprints. Not sure. Phantasmal Flames. Mega Evolution. Right? I don't know if they reprint Perfect Order. And maybe Perfect Order becomes a scarcity play over a demand for the set play. I don't know. It's something I'll be eyeing to pick up. in the future, especially after the second drop comes, to see what this price action does. And I'll also be monitoring Chaos Rising to see what happens with Chaos Rising in its booster box and the next few sets. Let's talk about one I am looking to pick up. Prismatic Evolutions. I know everyone's talked about set, no brainer, can't lose, whatever. It's had a little dip, especially with the SBC reprint that's supposedly coming to Sam's Club soon. You can see it kind of went through a buyout here. It was at 293, got bought out, shot up about 649 items, and then dropped back down with low volume. You can see here you can pick them up for around 300, 307, etc. I'm holding off for now until the reprint kind of comes at the end of May. I know there's a GameStop drop. There's also going to be a Sam's Club where you can get them for $70, which is just insane. No, I'm not going to go stand in line for that. But for all you degenerates out there, definitely it's a great buy. If you can get it from Sam's Club, go stand in line, go grab it. I'll just pick them up at market. I'm going to look to pick up some cases when they come out. The cases may not drop, so I may pick individual units, but I am going to try and pick up some cases. I'm really hoping to get them for like 1,100, 1,200 for the cases. If I'm picking up loose, if I can snag them for 250, it's a snap buy. I don't think it's going to get to 250, but I would love it local market if they do. You see Prismatic Evolutions, purchase it. I think the ETBs are still a good buy as well if you're looking for prismatic ETBs. Let's talk about Paldea Evolved. Out of print set. Literally has not really run up too much, about 7% over the last month or so. I think the set slept on, man. I think this could go on another run very soon. I have maybe a case and an extra booster box of this. I may look to pick up another case if it stays stagnant again for the foreseeable future. I think I got in at like 375 when it had that dip down here. I still think you'll do really well with Paldea Evolves. So I may look to snag another one or another case. You can see it's been pretty flat over the last, September to May here. I can't, what's that, 6 months, give or take. I think you'll do well with Paldea Evolved if you find any locally. Maybe you can get them for 450. I'm not sure. When I looked at before, there was no case premium on the Paldea Evolved booster box, but there may be now. Take a look. But this is something that I'm considering picking up. I think if I had to order it, it'd be Prismatic, Surging Sparks, Paldea Evolved for sealed that I'm looking at. Let's go into some singles, man. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time on these, but I just wanted to shout out some singles here. Obviously, the SCRs are great in Dustin Rivals. I'm looking to pick up some PSA 10s of like the Misty's Lapras, the Team Rocket's Meowth, I think is a good one. The Ethan's Typhlosion. And then I think we have some on the second page that I'm also considering. The Blaziken here. And maybe the Rapidash as well. I think those IRs are going to do really well over the short term, over the next year. And I think you can get the PSA 10s pretty cheap. I mean, relatively. The Misty's Lapras I know is around, I think, 300. The Team Rocket's Meowth I think is a great card. I think this one as well is around 300. The gem rates are all around 30 to 40%, so it has a pretty low gem rate. So I am actively looking at auctions to see if I can snipe some of those cards. Moving into everyone's hated set, Journey Together. So for Journey Together, I'm also looking at some cards here. A couple I'll point out. The Articuno, everyone loves the Articuno. I think Nostalgianomics did talk about this card recently. He said he thinks it's a $50 card. I agree with him. I think it's a $50 card as well. Beautiful, beautiful card. I love that card. I picked up a raw copy already, but I want to pick up a couple PSA 10s and then pick up some raw copies. I think the Salamence is a great card. Again, you can pick up a PSA 10 for around 300. Great card. Recommend picking it up. I think your downside risk is kind of low because Journey Together is kind of flat right now. It's except for Articuno has had a little bit of a run. But I think your downside risk is pretty low, but you do have some upside potential for Journey Together if people kind of see what I see, I guess, in the value of it. I do want to pick up some of the Lily's Clefairy. I think the Lily's Clefairy is another beautiful card. I like Journey Together, man. I don't know why everyone doesn't like it, but Lily's Clefairy is a great card. I think I want to pick up maybe a couple PSA 10s or raw copies of the Lily's Clefairy as well. The Inns Reshiram, again, beautiful card. I think this is a $30 card, maybe a $40 card. I'm actively looking to pick up some PSA 10s or some raw versions. I think the PSA 10 here is going for around $150, $160, so I think it's a great pickup. Then finally, the Inns here. I think the PSA 10 version of this is around 150. Again, I think it's a great price, about 3 times, and the gem rate is super low on this card. I think it's like 20, 30%. I think this card slept on, especially in the PSA 10, so I'm looking at those. I know there's a lot of Journey Together cards, but I think it's undervalued, man. Definitely a good set to look at. Surging Sparks, a couple options here that I'm looking to pick up. The Latios, again, it's already gone on a little bit of a run, so I'm kind of hesitating a bit on that card. But the Latios and the Pikachu are both ones that I'm looking at picking up. I think the Latios is a great play. It's still sort of flat, hasn't really gone on any run yet. And I think this card's going to do well in the future. Moving forward to Shrouded Fable. So Shrouded Fable, there's a couple cards I'm looking at here. Really only 2 that I like personally. I think this Persian's a good card. I think you can get it for around 300 to 350. I think the biggest struggle that I'm having right now is where to deploy my capital across these sets and what cards I want to buy. I am capital constrained, so I can't buy them all. So I am sort of looking and deciding which cards I think will do best over the next year. I don't hold cards long term. I hold cards for 6 months to a year and flip them when I hit 50 to 100% margin. Persian here, I think is a great card. My favorite card in this set, I know probably people won't agree with me, is this Horsey. You can still find them sometimes on auction for around 170 PSA 10. I want to pick up 2 PSA 10s of this card. I know people may not like this card. I love this card. Gen 1 Pokemon, beautiful art, I think. I think it will do really well long term. You can see it has already started to go on a bit of a run, but the PSAs, you can still get them on auction a bit cheaper than the run here, than the, in the last month, the what? 20% it's gone up in the last month. Talking about temporal forces, have to shout out my boy Nostalgianomics. Again, great content creator. Take a look at him if you're interested in market investment content. The Raging Bolt here, he's always talked about this card. I do watch his streams still every now and then. I think it's a beautiful card too. The PSA 10 you can get for like $200. So it's not even a 3 times multiple, I think. Yeah, it's like a little bit under a 3 times multiple, maybe right at 3 times. And the gem rate, I think, is somewhere in the 40%. I don't know if they have the data here. No. I think this is a good card. I would pick this up. I'm actively looking at picking one up on auction to see if I can get a steal. I did have the Ghastly for the longest time. I recently just sold it. I bought it for around 250, and I think it was sold for around 600. So I think this is a beautiful card too if you like the Ghastly, but I wouldn't be purchasing it at these prices right now. I'd be looking at some of these other cards, and this is one I'm targeting. Stellar Crown. I'm actually not actively looking to pick up any of these cards, but I do have to shout out this Terapagos. I do remember Nostalgianomics talking about this card a long time ago, and it was like $32, and it's doubled in a couple months. So crazy that actually happened. I didn't think that would, but good call out by him. Finally, cards that I'm looking to grab is some for Mega Evolution. A couple of these cards on the illustration rares. I really want to grab some PSA 10s of this Vulpix or some raw versions. I think this is a $30, $40 card, easy, in a year or two. I want to pick up some PSA 10s of the Steelix. I think this is a $20 card in a year or two as well, depending on reprints and everything like that, of course. And then I want to pick up some of these Mars Shadow cards. I mean, it was $80 at one point, extremely manipulated. Maybe it's manipulated again in the future, but you can pick up some good PSA 10 prices on this card as well. That's what I'm looking at, guys. We're booming right now. Market's going crazy. We'll continue to talk about market analysis, what I'm doing. Um, it's crazy, man. Like you can't lose right now. So if you guys have capital, if you're interested in this hobby, if you're looking to invest or flip or start a business, opportune time to get involved. So I would definitely, if that's something you're interested in, just try things, take action, deploy your capital, try and think of plays that are low risk but have some reward. Again, the goal is to not lose here. Um, at the same time, I am not buying as much as I was, 3 months ago. I have started to slow down a little bit and be a bit more methodical. I want to be careful about deploying all my capital at once right now. Number one, because I want to start getting more scale, more bulk deals. I'm a bit smaller, but I want to try and consolidate and do more of a bulk purchase to get better pricing. At the same time, we have been in this bull run since I've been in the hobby, so a year and a half. So it does make me a little bit more nervous as we continue in this hobby, going full steam. And especially seeing how every product, even the singles right now, are all rising in price across the board. And that to me is a bit nerve wracking. So trying to find plays that have lower risk is something that I'm looking at right now. But that's all I have today, guys. And we'll have some more videos on the market, sort of what I'm doing on the business side. I think eventually I do want to dive into some live streams, maybe do some question and A, maybe do some pack openings, or as well as some auctions. I want to auction off some cards as I build a following. If you like this content, like and subscribe, support the channel. It does really help. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right. See you guys later.